crazy. All right, I'll watch one more.
Before we start this video, we just want to take a moment to say thank you.
Is eating animals wrong? Oh no. All right, let's do this.
If we were all born like 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe, how would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm gonna give my opinion on this too. So if you're a vegan,
I became vegan because I could no longer think about eating something that was once living and breathing.
The primary thing that keeps me vegan is just always the animal liberation. The idea that we are trying to push our ideas onto others. That stereotype I've experienced the most.
Hunting is a very hard concept for people to understand. I am in Texas, it's a lot more acceptable, even though being a woman who hunts, people still, have a really hard time with that concept.
I'm sorry, she kind of scares me a little bit.
Vegans are more effeminate. People will question your sexuality oftentimes.
I grew up in a rural village.
Wait, what?
Often people think vegans are more effeminate. People will question your sexuality oftentimes.
Ooh. I have never once thought of a vegan and was like, oh yeah, they're gay. Who does that? Like, you're an idiot if you do that. What?
I grew up in a rural village, living off the land.
Oh, she's a hunter as
The
well.
way we live is in total respect to the animals, and I think there's so much that people do not know about indigenous culture.
Oh, it's hunters. I didn't even realize. I'm stupid. Wait, only 2? One guy's unable to attend
Danny.
I want to
I'm
read
queer,
it.
I'm vegan.
No! My computer's being so slow right now, man. What the hell is happening?
Indigenous culture.
I want to see what happened to the third person. Because usually have 3v3. Fortunately, one cast member was unable to attend the day of filming, but we still love the conversation and want to share with you. Yo, what is my keyboard broken? No, it's just being like really laggy.
My name is Danny. I'm queer, I'm vegan, and I'm multiracial.
Hi, my name is Don Marvens. I've been a vegan for coming on 6 years now. I'm a freelance photographer and I recently moved to the LA area.
My name is Nina. I'm 24. I've been vegan for coming up on 5 years now, and I'm a professional astrologer.
Hi, my name is
This is not fair though, it's
Brittany.
3v2.
I'm Koyakon Dene from Alaska. I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I went to school in the California area, and I'm currently on a road trip visiting friends to learn whose land I'm on.
I'm Carly, I'm from Texas. I'm a wife, a mom. I also do sales and marketing consulting.
The first prompt is, I care about animals' well-being. Walk forward if you agree.
Yeah.
Is that surprising to y'all that 2 hunters walked over?
I would love to hear why. Yeah, I would love to hear it.
Hunters have the utmost respect for animals. And I think that's a really hard thing for people to see. How can you love something
I agree.
And respect something that you kill? It's just a hard concept, right? Conservation is a big reason why I hunt. It not only provides food for my family, but I can shoot a certain number of deer each year, and that will keep that population and that herd thriving.
I guess I've never really came at this conversation from like an angle of vegans versus hunters. It's always vegans versus meat eater.
That's true.
So I understand in a sense the respect you have to what you're doing. I just know that I could never do that.
Yeah, and I think that for me is one of my maybe more bigger issues, is not with vegans, but it's more people who eat meat but don't understand hunting. So you're gonna eat meat that was slaughtered at a factory.
True.
But I can't just give a deer one swift, great bullet in the heart where it dies out where it's supposed to die.
That's true.
I was one of those people that said I could never even be vegetarian. Like, I was probably like the people that you're describing, just, not having a connection to what they're eating. I didn't think about it. And then as streaming services go, I found a little documentary through the suggestions.
It changed your life.
And it changed my life. And like I remember I went to brunch that morning and I had like sausage and egg and like fried cheese. And then that night I watched this documentary. And so that's why I'm vegan, because I can't support like us as an industry and as a populace, like removing the choice from.
I will never understand people that like watch like one thing and is like instantly like, oh yeah, now I'm a changed person. I don't get that at all. Like, I get that you can make a decision and you can change your mind and you can you know, have a different mindset eventually, but oh, I watched this documentary that night and it changed my life forever. Now I don't want to eat. Like, how? Why does that change your life? Why is that the thing that, you know, I don't get that. That's just kind of like
that large of a
yikes
swath of
to me.
animal populations just because they're animals.
If there was a solution, like just the magic happens, the skies part, and all the meat is like done in a way that is humane, would that make you more inclined to eat meat?
I think that you sort of get into the fundamentals of like, is it humane to kill something? I have to understand and respect and honor that like in indigenous cultures, you know, there's many reasons why people hunt. We would all be remiss if we didn't admit that, you know, at a time in human history,
no.
no.
There's one reason to hunt. Everywhere you live, no matter what you have, and it's to eat. That is it. Yes, you can live off of like other things and like chemicals and shit that give you protein, but it's like there's one reason to hunt, is to eat. It always has been to eat. That's it. No matter where the fuck you live, that's it. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
animal protein and animal meat to survive. But today, it's not necessarily a necessity.
I was being taught ethical hunting by an ethical hunter. And again, I think that's a harder concept here. Because trust me, like, they're asshole hunters. But that's what I saw conservation, and I saw ethical hunting, and I saw why we do it, and I saw the food. You know, I haven't bought beef. I mean, in 6-7 years.
Can I ask you a question that I'm kind of scared to ask?
And we'll see.
So you said that you're a mother, and if you think of like Bambi, do you ever consider the small baby animals that you're taking their parents away
Jesus
from them?
Christ.
So,
see, I knew that shit was gonna be asked eventually through this video. I think that is the dumbest question to ask somebody, especially a hunter. I think that is the stupidest shit. Okay, look, this is my take on it. We are humans. We are extremely intelligent species. We are an extremely intelligent species. And the way we perceive the world and our children is extremely different from the way animals perceive the world and their children. You know how many animals eat their babies because they just don't give a fuck? Or how many animals leave their babies because they don't give a fuck? Or how many animals don't even feed them and make them have to survive on their own because they don't give a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, not every species in the world is like that. Like, there are species that do actually have connections, but it's nowhere near what you see like in a fucking cartoon like Bambi, or how humans interact with each other. Even your cat does not care about you the way you think they do. They manipulate you because you feed them and give them scratches. That's literally what a cat is. Like, don't get me wrong, I love cats. I think they're adorable. I love them. But they don't look at you and it's like, oh yeah, I care about you as much as you care about me. It's they care about you because you do things for them. Cats don't do anything for you, like, when I'm talking legitimately. And like, that is the worst question to ask. Because, and then the fact that she used Bambi as a example, you know what I mean? A cartoon? Come on, dude. Like, really? That's a dumb question. I'm sorry.
Bambi doesn't exist. Right.
Exactly.
That's a Disney
Thank
movie.
you.
If a mom
Thank
is there
you.
with her yearlings, you would never kill that mom, right? You wait until she kicks them out of the house.
Yeah.
And that's part of like ethical hunting.
That is like,
Yeah.
no one really, like, you wait until.
Even so, it's
they're
like,
out.
I learned from
Yeah,
my
actually, yeah,
cousins that
100%.
from southeastern Alaska.
you don't
They're
kill
the ones
the
that
babies because
invented
there's no fucking
the
point.
fish hook. It was so wide that only a full-grown halibut could get caught. It's a generational thought. You're not just thinking about, oh, I need food tonight. You're like, how do I make sure I protect their natural processes? When fish hooks are made now, anything can go out. So many of our pre-colonial traditions were staying in balance with animals, and we had so many practices that prevented overhunting. And the people who are living off the land, who are fighting for the land, are getting last priority. We're not allowed to fish if there's commercial fishing. We're constantly being watched and fined. It's constantly having land taken away. If you look at any community, it's constantly happening to them where they're told they're not allowed to do this or eat this. It's all connected, it's all a cycle.
I think going based off of that question that this girl asked, and that's like the only thing she said, she's like, I feel like all her takes are gonna be like just like not well thought out or nothing to back it up. Like how are you gonna use Bambi? I'm sorry, but how do you use Bambi the hell as an example for not wanting to eat deer? Come on. Really? A privileged way? No. What?
If you have a choice of where you get to get
Oh,
your
I guess,
food
yeah.
and where it comes from,
That is
and
true.
even
That is
knowing
true.
about it is a privilege.
Isn't it like a thing that like vegan food is like super fucking expensive? So I guess, but I mean, you also don't really need to eat the really expensive, nice food to be vegan. So I guess it's kind of like
the choice
depends
to
on
be
how you eat.
vegan. That includes, makeup and clothing and all of these things. And, sustainable clothing, for example, is a top dollar if you're trying to buy it new. And thrifting is great, but some people don't even have access to that. And so I think that choice is a privilege and veganism is a choice.
I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere.
She literally just said what the fucking question was.
We have access to that, and so I think that choice is a privilege. And
Oh no, wait. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I forgot. They're proving their point. I for some reason I thought like they sat down if it was no or something. My brain. I'm stupid.
I was born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and the fact that my parents were able to leave with me when I was just like 1 year old into the States, like really shaped how my life would go. The lifestyle that I'm living is such a stark contrast from the people down in the Caribbean.
I feel like I have to talk about how veganism, especially in the States and especially in like the global West, has been totally co-opted by like, I'm just gonna say it, by whiteness. Veganism shouldn't be a privilege in my opinion, but it is. Like the world that we live in now, it is.
I don't know enough about being a vegan. I think of it as like something that rich white people do, but I don't know. I don't know any vegans. I don't know how much money it costs.
Yeah, a lot of people also
It's like pretty expensive though.
From
like most
lower income backgrounds or areas, they also rely on fast food, and that stuff is really cheap because, as far as I understand, the government subsidizes meat and animal products much more than it does vegetables.
When we think about someone who has to work a low-wage job to survive, you also have to think they're probably working more than one job, possibly. You want the easiest meals, you want the highest calorie meals because you're working and you're burning so many calories. So when you're saying, why don't you eat more plant-based, you're asking them to change their shopping habits, you're asking them to spend more time, you're asking them to educate themselves. And when you are working that hard, you have to numb yourself. You are eating to survive. That is different.
That is, it's very different.
Choosing what you're eating.
That's true.
And it's not fair to like ask any of those people in survival mode to completely like shift their way of life and
Yeah.
learn a whole new
That's a good point. That's a
lifestyle.
very good
And
point.
I definitely agree with that. I'm just curious, like, if we were all born like 3 centuries from now, the world has been globalized and like agriculture can reach every corner of the globe, how would that affect, if at all, your views or your choices?
Am I going to be judged if I say not at all?
I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, like I'm gonna eat meat. I don't want to say there's no reason to not eat meat, but there's maybe no reason for me not to eat meat.
I get it.
I'm feeling judged.
I'm not judging,
you
but
know?
I don't understand. I'll be honest, I don't understand.
I mean, like I still cry when I kill something. I mean, I love the animals, but they're still just animals. Like,
True.
it's okay to eat one. Everyone's been eating meat forever.
That's true.
You know, and
It's been a
there's
long
never
time
been
practice.
a culture ever that was 100% vegan. You know, they have shifted. They're plant-based and Mediterranean and Buddhist, and they have moved towards a whole culture who was 100% vegan. I don't think has ever existed.
It sounds like it's a natural order kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting to hear because I'm firmly of the belief that like we are animals. So for me, the natural
See-
order perspective,
That is the worst perspective to have because we aren't animals. There is not a species. I think the only animal species that is like somewhat as intelligent as us is like monkeys, like our our descendants, right? Like monkeys, and that's it. And even them, it's like no one eats them and kills them, right? So it's like, and it's like they're still not as smart as us. We are extremely intelligent species that is very different from the cow or some sheep or you know, some deer or something. Extremely different, right? So it's like, I don't know. I think that's just a very very bad take.
doesn't hold a lot of water.
Do you guys have pets?
Oh, here we go.
And in other parts of the world, what you would consider your pet, some people would eat.
But that's there. I mean,
Yeah, that's
like, I don't eat
different.
Dog, and I hope nobody don't eat my dog. But that's, you know, I mean, I can't worry about.
That's a fucking terrible take too. How can you say that? Just because they eat meat or kill animals doesn't mean they agree with how other people eat meat and kill animals. Like that makes no fucking sense at all. Like these are terrible takes that
Someone in
the
China
vegans are
eating
having, man.
dogs. Like you know, we can all try to make the world a better place, and
It's interesting though because it does kind of challenge the natural order perspective. Like
Where do you draw the line?
Right.
Something to think about in this conversation too is knowing that even when we eat plants, there's so many people that we're exploiting.
Yes.
The core of this, I think, is just having that respect for your food.
I fully agree with that. I think it's such a falsehood when vegans say cruelty-free. The avocados that I eat, you know, were harvested by people that are being exploited. So
Do you guys consider hunting a privilege?
isn't everything a privilege to a point?
Yeah,
right? A lot of
100%.
people are going literally in their backyard, shooting something, processing it in their house,
Yeah.
putting it right on the table for their family. Like that to me is beautiful. Hunting can be really expensive. You basically have to have a huge ranch, or you have to spend a ton of money to hunt on someone else's ranch. And then
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people see are, right, the trophy hunters and the going over to Africa and hunting. I have not done that yet. That does not mean that I am not for it or against it. I do know that tourism in Africa is a huge moneymaker for them. I mean, those villages are really poor, and having an entire animal and multiple animals that hunters give them it's big for them.
My question with that would just be, why would it have to be a tourist? It kind of just sounds like the white savior complex narrative.
Because we are willing to pay a shitload of money.
I remember reading a statistic about like a single elephant in its lifetime can garner over $1 million just from photographic tourism. One single elephant's ivory is about $21,000. So just that in itself, like to me, is evidence that like non-violent tourism, like non-trophy hunting tourism, like is just as
That's a good
lucrative,
point.
if not more
That's a very good
lucrative
point.
than trophy hunting.
That's a very good point. I think bottom line with that whole conversation is just because you're like a meat eater or a hunter does not mean you don't have morals and you don't have like a line that cannot be crossed. Just because you eat animals, like I feel like at least these vegans, I'm not gonna say all vegans because I know like I don't want to generalize a certain group of people, right? But I feel like these vegans, they have this like at least going into it, they had this like they had us have this view on meat eaters and hunters that they just hate all animals and want to kill them all and eat them all and murder them. And that's why it's like they're asking these like really bad questions like, oh well, you know, your children, well, look at Bambi, huh? Yeah. Or you know, you like your pets, huh? Well, you know other people eat those. You know, people like you, they eat those. Yep, they kill and eat your pets. How you feel about that? That's a terrible fucking question. That's a terrible take, dude. That's the worst, man. That I agree with.
Oh, wait, I agree with this.
Yeah. I agree with that actually.
Come on, Britt. I had to
I do agree with that. I feel like there is like, why would you kill or hunt anything if it wasn't to survive? Okay, think about it like this though. But okay, but like some parts of the world, you need to kill something, right, to maybe get like their wool or like their skin, so you can make something to survive in like clothes and stuff, right? In some parts of the world where that's like not possible with anything else. So it's like, I guess it depends on how you look at it.
If this was asked first, I would have disagreed. But after hearing your story, it is necessary to an extent.
Yeah.
If you're hunting for food, then you're saying that your life is more important than that other animal's life, and that is more reasonable to me than saying that your pleasure or your trophy or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. That's like the only good take she's had this entire video.
Safety, which I now realize, and it's like almost 2 hours if you needed a medical emergency evacuation. So yeah, I don't know any killing besides safety and like food, and then we still try to make the most out of the body and the fur, and we'll try to like feed it to the dog team. So.
Okay.
There's just the biology of land, and there's biology of carrying capacity, and there's biology of how these animals have to be, you know, taken care of. I know that if people are not hunting, those deer are gonna starve. There's not enough food, there's not enough water, there's not enough shelter. So to me, I will take one for the team and I will shoot a few deer this year
Here's
to
the thing.
keep the land in check.
I think I understand her point. I understand what she's saying. I just think that's a terrible take to have in this situation. I think you're not. No one's going out and hunting because, oh, they're overpopulated. You know, like no one's doing that. No one's legitimately going out hunting just because there's a lot of deer and, oh, I feel bad for them, they're gonna starve to death. Oh my god, I need to murder them before they all starve. Like no one does that. That's like, I highly doubt anyone really does that at all. But I think it's more of like a oh, that's a kind of a plus from it because that's bound to happen. So it's kind of, but it's kind of a bad take. But I can see your points.
And the ecosystem in check.
I don't disagree that maintaining equilibrium of an ecosystem is important. My question to that would be like, what's actually sitting at the root cause of the deer overpopulation? Is the root cause that people aren't hunting enough, or is the root cause that their land is being taken away? But me making assumptions, hunting is a band-aid solution.
Like, I wish I could answer a very smart and like, well, based on data that's been done. And look at Los Angeles and Dallas, and like, where are animals going?
Right.
They're dying. You know, I mean, but what is the solution? I don't know.
But it's like also, like,
The U.S.
you know,
a lot of the times has tried to decide what animals need to go or not without the guidance of indigenous people who have been doing this for thousands of years and who have relationships with the animals. There are solutions, there are people that know it, and we need to push people in power to uplift voices who have this knowledge.
ooh, interesting. They're all gonna sit down. Oh. Ooh.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
Interesting.
Healthier than what? I chose to come up here because my diet is healthier than when I was not eating a vegan diet.
I'm excited to hear the guy on the
A
left,
Beyond
in the back.
Burger, is that healthier
point of view.
than eating rice, beans, and collard greens every day? No, it's not. Do I believe that eating plant-based is healthier than eating animal products? Yes.
And if you're super, super intentional and informed about what you're putting in your body, then it's gonna be healthier than someone who's not.
That's also healthier on an emotional and mental level. There's this detachment, this emotional detachment that you're going through when you're eating an animal, and that to me is emotionally unhealthy. I think awareness is one of the healthiest things that we can have.
I know if you like search veganism like online, especially on YouTube, you can see very dangerous vegan diets being like just told to like a massive audience of like young impressionable people. Like, but like Oreos are vegan, Twizzlers are vegan, and it's been 1 a.m. and I'm down to sleep with Oreos. I'm just like, why did I do that?
Just wait till you're 30.
Yeah, I'm 24, so I feel like I'll just keep on kicking. I don't know.
Coming here, I want to be very careful in extremes. Like my meat is, my diet is healthier. I don't know that. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I believe the meat I eat is better than what you would get at McDonald's. I just think it would be so hard to be a vegan. Like it seems like so much work.
There's a learning curve.
It's not hard in the grand scheme of things. I feel
Yeah, it
a
is.
lot better.
I think it is for her
putting in the
because she's
work
changing her diet
because
completely
I feel
from
more empowered, I guess you could
eating
say.
meat.
The definition of veganism is just as far as what is practicable and possible. It's all about doing your best.
Hey, thank you.
I think. Okay. All right. Here it is. Here's my full take. Leave the stream now.